everyone, welcome back to the show. We're going to open up the astrological energies of this week ahead, and then at the very end we will do tarot. All of the important information about how to book me, the additional healing services I provide, additional readings, all at the very end of this video. So guys, this is going to come out the 23rd on Monday in May 2022. How was your weekend? Did anything come up? Did you write anything down? Did you have any big conversations, any big revelations about life in the world on Saturday the 21st? Let me know in the comments below, because that was the interior conjunction. That was the interior Cazimi, where Mercury was in between Earth and the Sun at 0 degrees Gemini. So for me, it was kind of crazy. Okay. This is so weird. I know it's weird. I randomly sort of looked up Manly Palmer Hall, this man's work that I've been reading since I was a tween, since before puberty. I quote him in every single video I upload to YouTube. And you know what I found out on the Cazimi? I found out that Manly Palmer Hall was a total babe. Do I have a picture? I better have a picture. Guys, Manly Palmer Hall was an actual, like, super good looking person. And it just sort of blew my mind. When the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, the great veil will fall from the eyes of men. They shall then know the truth, and, more than that, they shall realize that from the beginning truth has been in the world unrecognized, save by a small, but gradually increasing, number appointed by the lords of the dawn as ministers to the needs of human creatures struggling to regain their consciousness of divinity. Manly Palmer Hall. Look at this. I mean, I'm just saying, guys, that just sort of, I mean, I don't know why it did, but it just did. I think partly it's because I'm a Mercury-Pluto person, and we actually have a Mercury-Pluto aspect this week. So I did a whole video about Mercury-Pluto. It's more of like the shadow side, though, of things that might come up for people, like on a psychological level, and, you know, the paranoia, all that jazz. But on Mercury-Pluto, that is when you just need so much to chew on. And for me, on Cazimis and Mercury-Pluto, like all the Mercury stuff, I dig into archives. And for this one, I found myself in loc.gov and found so many gems. You guys, very excited, very exciting. Just so excited about everything, honestly. I really am. Anyway, so I don't know why, it just really affected me, though. It just really, I mean, Gemini is my 12th house. Yeah, I get it. But, like, oh my God. Like, so, back to you. How was your Cazimi? How was your weekend? Sunday was, let's start there. Let's start with context. On Sunday the 22nd, that is when Mercury retrograded back into Taurus. So I guess we don't. So sorry. You are so attractive. And it was such a surprise. I've been reading you forever. Sorry. Okay. So, all right. Where was I? Sunday. This is Sunday. So we're going to talk about Sunday. Sunday, Mercury retrograded back into Taurus, and Sunday, Monday, it's bringing vibes from the last week of April, but you might have, okay, so on a conscious level, something could concretize, something can be given form, something can actually come together. And on the unconscious side, you will probably see some results that you might be tempted to judge as good or not good, or satisfactory or unsatisfactory, or you may be very proud of your results, you may be very disappointed in your results or in the results that you're getting in some area of life, or you might have put mental energy and effort into something. And this could even be something on such a small level, such as you were building an event or something up in your mind and thinking it was gonna, maybe you were afraid of like the eclipse, or maybe you were afraid of like giving a speech, or maybe you were building up in your mind when you were going to meet somebody, or maybe you were traveling and you just didn't want to travel and you didn't want to go anywhere, and you're like, oh my god. And you know, whatever it is, or oh, I gotta go see this person, or whatever happens to be mentally, you could have just been chewing on it so much that you just tweaked yourself out, you know, like you just went too far. This is why I think I mentioned it in my Mercury Pluto video, like unsolved mysteries and true crime, and like that is what I get into. And this particular one, actually, that makes perfect sense, because near the end of April, I was starting to recognize that I was tweaking out about reading about parasites, because bacteria is actually not natural to planet Earth. We were like this perfect freaking ecosystem, and then like this thing crashed into Earth and brought bacteria with it. And so, sorry, gross, I know. So I had to like get very mentally strong. And so anyway, so, you know, I'm going to say that if you, for instance, are stressing out about something that you know you're tweaking out about, maybe you don't want to go somewhere because you're afraid of running into somebody, and you're like, maybe you're in like a whole different town, or you're in a whole different country, and you're like, why would I be afraid of that happening? Or if you are trying to get something so perfect because you're overthinking what someone else is going to think about it, or what someone's going to say about it, or, you know, whatever happens to be, or if you're being suspicious of someone, maybe something happened and you just keep thinking about the memory over and over. When we do that, first of all, when we replay memories over and over, we're changing our relationships to those memories. And that came up in my acting training, because it's one of those methods that you use memory to bring up honest, true, authentic emotion, and you like start on it, you act on it. But when you do that, like I said, you're changing your relationship to the like original memory, instead of like photocopying it over and over and over again. It looks very distorted. So I recommend unsolved mysteries, true crime, novels. I mean, I know that's a little bit dark, but you will just find your own thing. Like I switched my like obsessive compulsive type energy. I have Mercury square Pluto, so it's like I could go so off the deep end about this parasite, do like a parasite cleanse and just like get all crazy about it. But I steered it into a different project, a writing project. And so anyway, long story short, it can be very satisfying getting to the bottom of something, or like finding this piece of history or evidence or knowledge or information that you're just like digging, you know, and you just like pull it out. It's very rewarding. That might even connect with how I like those picking videos. That might even be an expression of my Mercury Pluto. I don't know. I just like it. Anyway, so Mercury retrograding back into Taurus. Are we still in? I guess we're still on Sunday. So when Mercury moves back into Taurus, there's something when it was in Gemini that you've been like, you've been rewiring, rethinking, redoing, reconsidering. So like for me, it's like, okay, redirecting my attention from like parasites and true crime. And but when Mercury goes into Taurus, maybe that's like when you're done doing research and you write the paper, or when you're done doing research, maybe you're writing a story or a play or a movie or a short novella about a specific time period in the past, or you could even be researching something of a story that takes place in the future. The Mercury going back in Gemini could have been you just like reading and reading and reading and reading. Mercury goes back into Taurus, you might write the thing. You might write the thing. Oh, body language class kicks off this week, and guys, the trial is going to be over this week. It's a lot. Okay. I'm trying to stay focused here. Everyone's struggling. We all struggle on the retrogrades. So, okay, something concretized, or you get the results. Now, the results that you might get, well, you know, they're like all the results. It's like, smells rotten. The experiment did not work. This is not a magical potion. This is something that is rotting. Let's move on. Monday, the 23rd. We have the Sun in Gemini sextiling Jupiter in Aries. We have Mercury retrograding in Taurus, now sextiling Mars at 29 degrees of Pisces. So this is a big deal. There's a major benefit to this do-over. So, for instance, you guys know that I have a set of Mercury retrograde projects that I return to, that I go back to specifically. I don't work on them when Mercury's not retrograde. Mercury retrogrades 3 to 4 times a year, so I get a lot done, but only during the retrogrades. So in the sextile to Mars is literally on Wednesday going to go into Aries, and I am so excited because, for instance, I got out of the shower, done like washing my hair, and then I came to this point and I put my hands down and I knew I would do no more. That's what my Mars and Pisces transit has been like, where I just lose the will in my body. The spirit just leaves and I cannot physically complete a task. I cannot continue on. I will turn around and walk back. I will reopen the door. I will sit back down. I will turn around. I will go. And that's what happened with this. And now we're whatever this is. Now we're Blue Jesus. Now we're Jay and Silent Bob type day. Anyway, but yeah, that's what whatever I do, that is all you will do today, Natalie. Go take a nap. Go take a break, have a snack. So anyway, Monday the 23rd, Mercury retrograde in Taurus makes this really helpful, supportive little boost. So especially if you're returning to something, you make it better, right? There's some things that I purposefully start on a Mercury retrograde that I want it to benefit from this, not constant, but frequent 3 to 4 times a year revisioning. So something that kind of comes to mind is retail. I don't know if anyone's ever worked retail. I have. And we have the window. And the window would change out depending on if we get new product in and the holidays. And the art girls were so talented. And this is like, I love paper and just, as you guys know, like making paper and everything. And sometimes they would let us help. And it would be like just some monotonous thing that you do like over and over again. But they would make these big papier-mâché displays, window displays. So that to me is like a business model. There's part of the operations to switch out pretty frequently. So all of the astrology and the way I've been guided to talk about it as conscious and unconscious also has a lot to do with perspective in whatever is there, whatever the astrology is saying, we're going to use it. We're going to use it to benefit. So if we can detach from wanting to push what we want in the way that we want it at the time that we want to do it and just go as the energy is flowing, then you're always productive and you're always getting something done. Of course, I'm thinking this way because I'm a Capricorn, but it'll make you feel better because you'll know that you're doing as much as you can with what's there. So there's going to be like a last push. You're going to get this last little boost of energy from this Mars in Pisces, but it's not going to be battering ram push of energy. This is going to be the last day of going as you're guided, like spiritually and feeling like karmically driven. The Mars in Pisces has just been like karmic, going to your karmic little limit there and being warned not to go nay a step furthermore. So you'll know what it is because Mercury's come back to the same spot since the last week of April, and you will just have one last little to cut out or to cut in. But with the sun sextiling Jupiter, I feel like you're going to be pretty happy about it. And I feel like you're going to be like pleased. So it's a nice do-over. Very happy, very pleased. Tuesday. Hallelujah. On the 24th, we have Mars entering Aries. I'm so excited. I have my natal Mars in Aries, so everybody else that has Mars in Aries, guys, we've been waiting for this since June 27th, 2020. Because the last time Mars entered Aries, it was in a 6-month retrograde, and all the big bad planets were the big bad sign. Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter were in Capricorn, and it was forming this ongoing T-square for 6 months with the big baddies and the big bad sign, with Mars retrograde in Aries, T-square. I think it's Sun and Venus in Libra. Oh my God. It was like, this is our first Mars in Aries without all of that. We have Saturn in Aquarius. Jupiter is in Aries, so it's just different. We've all been waiting for this. I've personally been waiting for this since June 27th, 2020. So there could even be something you were trying to get going and you were so frustrated. Of course you were, because you had all of the energy working against you, telling you couldn't do it, that you had to wait. You had to wait. Sorry. I'm using my Mars and Aries voice. You had to wait. So, but this could be the time when it's a totally different environment. Like with Jupiter in Aries, that is such a vote of confidence. Oh God. Okay, sorry. So Aries is about to be super happy. So anyway, on the 24th, Venus is in Aries, sextiling Saturn in Aquarius. So you may pass go if you've done the work. And see, when we're stressed out like that, when we just have all the pressure on us, that's when we're really minted. That's when who we are, not as a survivor of abuse or trauma or unlucky circumstances or whatever, but into a thriving, self-knowing divined, self-conscious, self-mastered individual. It's a different person. It's a different person than the version of you that had to survive certain things. And when that pressure is on, think back to the last 6 months of 2020 when the pressure was on and it was really difficult and you were struggling. Everybody was struggling. That showed you yourself under that pressure, how far you've come and where you have to go. Now that you return to a goal, now that you return to a motivation, this is like the resistance band that they remove from your stomach when you go and you spar. Okay, that's a little bit of a violent example, but instead of all the resistance holding you back and minting you the last half of 2020, it's just like a rocket ship blasting ahead. You have a lot of support now, so give yourself a pat on the back. Even with the Mercury retrograde, I'm very excited for you. And with Mercury retrograde, I say give everyone, and especially because this Mercury Pluto is going to be a 6-hit thing, I'm going to say give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Don't assume anyone's like, this is like that paranoia projection of stuff, like just assume everyone's great and lovely and kind and like just assume that, like just don't act and make any big decisions until afterwards. Don't assume the worst about yourself, about anybody else, about like just be as graceful as possible. I actually have, so this is a great day to talk about it because when Mercury's retrograde and Mercury's making sextiles and trines, that's when I like to schedule, especially if the moon is like void of course or something, if it's like a really like dead day and I could just see that the energy is like sludgy, I will plan, for instance, a task for that kind of a day. So for this day, especially with Venus sextiling Saturn, I am probably going to set some time aside to think back in my mind to when I got services that I did not leave immediate reviews for. And so I plan it out to leave my positive reviews for days kind of like that. So, I'll just think back to, I'll look for things. I'll look for, because sometimes I do it immediately, but then sometimes I don't do it immediately. Sometimes I'm rushing or I'm trying to not get a parking ticket or like whatever. So I just dart out and I just don't. It's like the whole thing's lost on me. So I'll think back like, oh yeah, I really liked her. I really liked him. I really liked this and this place, and I'll do the whole thing. So that could be something that you really are into or that you can do or that you can sort of do consciously that's positive, because you can also create good karma for yourself. It doesn't always have to be alchemizing, like taking negative karma and hard, you know what I'm saying? So is that all on Tuesday? Oh, okay. Okay, so that's Tuesday, I guess. Oh, wait a minute. Wednesday. Wednesday. Okay, so this is Mercury retrograding in Taurus, now coming into that trine to Pluto. So this is the 6th. It happened April 28th, May 25th, June 10th, August 22nd, September 7th, and October 8th are the total dates for the Mercury trine Pluto. So again, you can return to the scene of the crime and pick up new clues and information that you did not pick up before and use it. Use it to change your perception of the state of things. You know, maybe you opened the fridge and maybe you thought a couple of things were not that fresh, and it turns out a lot of things are not fresh. and your refrigerator is in a more dire state than you previously thought. So I've been calling this, like in my monthly, like the mental crime scene cleanup. So really getting into little nooks and crannies of your mind, taking a scrubber and just back to Wednesday. So the mental crime scene cleanup, you know, and this again will be kind of like the results that come up for you, what you're dealing with, how you think differently. So I'm excited, and just using my own personal example, that last week of April I was tweaking out about parasites, and then I regained control over my mind and just refocused from little bloodsuckers and feeling just persecuted and victimized. And I mean, I don't have any parasites, but I mean, I could have. And you know, just like all of just, see, I didn't even know. I didn't get tested. I didn't have any proof. There was no evidence. Why would I waste my precious energy and attention thinking about them, stressing about them, being angry towards them? I know they're bloodsuckers, but anyway, switch gears. I am now very happy that I have something positive to show for all of that energy that I redirected from parasites into history, from parasites into true crime and unsolved mysteries. So by Wednesday the 25th, with the Mercury Pluto trine, there will probably be some more nuggets to just access and just really understand that we just didn't have the access to penetrate that deep before. We were not able, and this could even be because of our own understanding of how we see and understand life. So for instance, this all has to happen slowly so that we can just build our understanding of life in the world and ourselves brick by brick. There's no way that you can teach quantum mechanics to a 2-year-old. You've got to teach them other things first, or that still happens as we go on. So I picked up for this whole week. I don't remember where I read this or how I came into this, but it's a true story. It either really happened or someone wrote about it happening and it's fiction. But the story goes of a blind person feeling this 3D picture. And the black parts, they were feeling the black parts, and they were asking, what is that? What is all of this? And they were explaining to them, that's shadow. That's its shadow. And they stopped and they asked them to explain what's a shadow. And they basically explained the 3-dimensional nature of life and of the universe. And like, that's just one example of one type of perception exploding into a big stretch. That's a big jump. Never thinking, just 2-dimensional, and never really thinking about whoa. So there could be something like that happening in your life, depending on the Capricorn and the Taurus area of your life. Okay? But you'll have access to it. You'll be able to penetrate that deep to really understand, you know, the motivation behind a series of actions that led to a result. You'll understand how you got there. You'll understand an original impulse. You'll understand maybe something about yourself, about your life, about somebody else, depending on where this is in your chart. Thursday, the 26th. Nothing. It's just the moon. Oh, the moon in Aries will square Pluto in Capricorn. I'm going to say slow down. Slow it down. And we're all going to be excited. We're going to be really excited. We're going to want to get up and just run before walking, before crawling. We just want to get up. The inspiration is there. But we can't. We just can't yet. We just can't. Okay, the 27th. Ooh, Friday, the 27th. This is when Venus squares Pluto. Venus in Aries squares Pluto, retrograde in Capricorn. This is very overwhelming energy. On a conscious level, people will be more self-possessed. They will be able to contain the tension of this energy within their bodies, within their speech, within their eye contact, within their behavior, and in their actions in a very self-possessed, self-contained way. And these would be people that you will feel safe around because they're not losing control over themselves. They're not going to become possessed by a feeling, a thought. Their demeanor won't change when someone cuts them off on the expressway. It's like just very, very, that's like the other side of like Pluto energy. Or maybe Saturn energy, but it's just like the quality of containment, the quality of that self-possession. On the more unconscious part of the spectrum, this is very compulsive, and it's also very accusatory. So that Venus-Pluto is going to feel that, like, whatever their perceived threat is, whatever they feel threatened by or feeling insecure by, automatically that becomes the truth, that becomes the law, that becomes their reality, and that is all they're dealing with. But they don't understand that they're dealing with their own projection of their disempowerment, what they're giving their power away to, which is this like suspicion or this urge to control, this compulsive energy, whatever. So that's why we say there could be power struggles whenever anything squares Pluto, because it's like that feeling comes up where you think, did they steal that from me? Or that thought comes in your head of, were they lying about where they were yesterday? Or this flash goes through your mind, or you see it, or it goes through your body, something possessive or suspicious or fearful or even guilting. This could even be some sort of weird guilt that comes out of nowhere, and it makes you act or behave. And you know what I'm saying? So people are going to be very overwhelmed. It's also the last day that Venus is in Aries, and I already talked about this whole June 2nd to June 28th Venus in Aries thing. I did it over on my TikTok. So it's like, this is just like the last, did I do it on TikTok? I don't remember. But this is, oh no, I did it in the monthlies for all the 12 zodiac signs. So this is going to be very overwhelming for people, and it's going to be like one big wrestle for self-possession. That could be body, that could be this struggle against some oppressive force that will try and control your mind, your decisions, your decision makings, your wants, your motivations, or your physical body, or your career, your life direction. People are just going to be feeling super like, you know. So this is why I'm saying, like, be as graceful as possible. Just believe, just try to force yourself to believe the best in everyone. Because here's the thing, even if you're right and someone has ill intent towards you, all of that is their karma. And you continue on in your lane, doing what you're doing, using your energies, using the energies of the cosmos, focusing on yourself, focusing on creating or enjoying, like, whatever it is. And then don't be fearful that anyone else can affect that. Because that's where that paranoia comes from, is a fear that someone else can even affect your life in such a way. I understand that we see that with power in life and people sabotaging each other at work and relationships and getting each other in trouble, people manipulating children in custody battle. Yes, I see all of that. I totally know what you're saying. We here live in truth, love, and integrity. And that is the only vibration that we want to live in. That's it. That's it. That's it. That fear drops it. It's just going to be a pinch. And then on Saturday, the 28th, Venus will enter Taurus and we can all relax. We can relax. We can chill out. We can just sit back and detract. Just eat some grapes and just let great things approach you. Just think about how whatever you want or whatever experience you want, however you want to feel, is begging for you, is yearning for you. If you want a vacation, that vacation is wanting you too. If you want, whatever it happens to be, this is the whole game changes when Venus enters Taurus, because you will not have to push yourself out and be like all pushy about it. Like Venus in Aries has to. Venus in Aries didn't want anyone to mess with it. Didn't want anyone to come and like just leave me alone, let me do my thing. No, it has not been that way. Venus went up to Chiron now, but coming off of Friday, now Pluto comes over to like mess with Venus and Aries. So Venus and Taurus, like, you just chill. There's gonna be other stuff next month, but we'll talk about that then. We're in May. I think I've been saying June this entire time. Anyway, so when Venus is in Taurus, just relax, just enjoy yourself, just take really good care of yourself, get bonbons and groceries and chocolate and just nourish yourself. Sunday, the 29th. This is when Mars conjuncts Jupiter in Aries at 3 degrees. It's hot. It's a really hot energy. Do it. Go for it. Say yes. Try. Learn. You might have to learn fast. You might have to do it fast. Just go for it. Do it. Do it to it. There's nothing holding you back now. This is what I'm saying. Like, you can you can think back in your life from the end, that last half of 2020, and see what was like being denied to you, or where you were so frustrated, you were working so hard and it's the struggle, just like in a straitjacket, just like squirm and squirm and squirm. Now you have wings and now you can fly. And this is part of your Monday the 30th new moon in Gemini, so fly. But otherwise, my loves, this week is just really going to be kind of a come down and a changing of the guard off of the eclipse, which I'm sure just rocked everybody's socks, and then seeding for that fresh, clean slate for June. Okay, so let's take a look. Is there anything else I want to say? No, it's better to be a few words with this kind of thing sometimes. Wait a minute. Tarot. Let's take a look, shall we? Let's take take a look at this week ahead. But really, you guys, big shifts because Mars and Venus are both changing signs this week. And they're both going to be changing into signs that they are happier in. Mars in Aries, Venus in Taurus. So it's going to be great. You should all look forward to it. I really am. What's the first strongest energy, please? There's going to be all of the classes this week. All of May's classes are going to be this week. The eclipses and the scheduling got all crazy. It's going to be tarot talk, practical magic, and the first body language reading and intuition study. Seven of Wands, Two of Swords, Queen of Cups, Page of Cups. So someone here, it looks like someone doesn't know what to fight for. This one does know what they're fighting for. Ace of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the King of Pentacles, bottom of the deck. Wow. This is very exciting. This can be some form of success coming to you or someone that you may know that has their own business, runs their own business. They may be sort of busy a lot. They may be in meetings all day. They could be dealing with a lot of independent contractors. They could be managing a lot of people under them. They could also be connecting different offices around the world or different industries, or someone that brings a bunch of other people together. But this looks like some kind of advancement being made. Some kind of advancement overall. And it could be personal. It could mean something changing with your work. So whatever work you're doing, whether it's product or import export or client services, it looks really positive. Yeah, we should use this one for this Queen of Cups. It's almost like this is a very mature, otherwise mature person, but with whatever this is, that Page of Cups kind of is telling me that they may be sort of like influenced. And they don't want to make like the wrong decision. It's almost like they know their subliminal self, or maybe their subconscious self, or maybe their inner child is the one responding or reacting to something, and they almost don't know. They seem kind of confused by it. Part of them feels very purely and very innocently, but there's a problem. More about this Queen of Cups and the Page of Cups, please. The Ace of Swords. And the truth shall set you free. Ace of Swords, bonding, the magic of the knotted red rope. Accept that bonding means giving of oneself. It means accepting doubt and transforming it into trust. That's exactly what I said about this. They don't know what to fight for. And they don't know whether to trust this little, I don't want to say this little feeling, but this is almost like this is almost like you pick a partner that you trust, that you feel safe with, but it doesn't have, I'm trying to think of like a movie. Help me with the movie, please. She's giving me The Notebook, but I only saw that movie once. And don't they fight a lot? I feel like this is going to make more sense for you than it does for me, but this is your message. Okay. So don't worry, you're going to get your, I don't know if it's confirmation or you're going to figure it out though. The truth is going to be very clear to you. It'll be very clear to you. Okay. She's giving me Under the Tuscan Sun, and I don't know how that even makes sense. Oh. Okay, so this is almost like making an emotional decision when you want to make a technical decision, except it's not that clear cut. This is like you have to make an emotional decision because it's emotional, and you're like, which emotional decision do I make? And which emotions do I trust? And which emotion belongs here? Okay, this is savoring very strong. This is almost like someone that gets spirit communication all the time, but they don't believe it. And or someone that gets confirmations all the time and don't believe it. Or this is like someone that gets signs and omens all the time, but they don't believe it. It's kind of like that. Okay, tell me about the Queen of Wands. The little kitty cat. Someone's making a friend soon. The stars. Guys, Manly P. Hall being a fucking babe. That spun my head around about 10 times. Where is it? Dear God. You know? Looks very serious. Like he thinks about very serious things. Okay, I gotta put it down. I'm getting a little pig in my cheeks. You guys, speaking of which, I'm blending my blush with my under eye concealer, and then I'm blending my blush higher because TikTok said I should think about it. And I like it. It feels gothy, you know, nice and gothy. Stars, attraction. The magic of the union. An action aimed at attracting with no obligation brings serenity and relieves the soul of pettiness. It is only a romantic invitation to love. The rest will come spontaneously. Damn, if this is a person, stay away. I'm telling you right now, stay away. I don't know. This looks a little bit, I don't think this person, I'm being honest with you, I don't think this person can handle this person. I'm telling you right now, I don't think this person, if you're this person, I don't think you're ready for this person. Let them go. This person, this is too much. I think you're right. I think you will lose some. Here's the thing. All these old movies, and it's so hard watching movies now because they all look so outdated. So I saw some numbers about a certain movie that did not do very well recently, and the premise had to do with a woman getting married, and that was her dream come true. And guys, that's just like really 1994. Like, it's just a different, everything is totally different. Everything's totally different. So I feel like this person over here, is a little bit conflicted because of two things can be true at once. Because of an ingrained sense of what brings emotional excitement and emotional security, and the real reaction that's happening, like the real stimuli. This is like, I only have neuroreceptors to be stimulated this way. And you have these other stimulators that are waking up because they're getting stimulated by some chemical in your brain or whatever. And so now you're in this quagmire. And honestly, I just don't think this person can be like mature enough to be like this and retain yourself. Like, that's just something, like, it used to be a romantic trope that losing yourself was romantic, and it's not anymore. We're the younger generations, like, we're just defining romance in totally new voices and in new ways, and giving it new examples and new expressions. And there might be an age difference or a generational difference, or at least a perception difference between these two. If this is love, I love this. If this is business, because this person has a knack for knowing who to hire to revitalize their company or their brand, but it does look like it could threaten some stability elsewhere in their life. Like, maybe their spouse doesn't agree, or maybe their children still need them a lot, or maybe they have aging parents that are moving in with them. Like, you know, it's like it could just be kind of like that. Yeah, but if this is like love and relationships, like, I don't know. I see this person's very sparkly. They're very, very sparkly. Looks very, very nice. I don't know. Let's take a look at the Ace of Wands, because this is the spark that's just burning the whole place down. She's giving me Dylan Thomas. I may without fail suffer the first vision that set fire to the stars. Two of Wands. Wow. So this is definitely partnership. We want to be practical. We want it to make sense. And it does, and it can, so long as this one person kind of like, I don't know if it's, I don't think it's like growing up fast or anything. I think it's just reconciling all of the different feelings that you can have, that you can contain in one person at one time. Guys, there's periods that I go through a lot of high energy containment and it feels really wild. And the eclipses are always a time when it's just too much, like it's just a lot. And so, like if you stay up at night and you're just thinking about life and thinking about things, you need to meditate during the day. You're not getting enough time to meditate. You need to process all of that. But you don't stop, so the only time you have is the next soonest point you stop all of it, stop life, and that's when you're trying to go to sleep. So that's why you're up. It's kind of like that, but emotionally. Oh, I didn't read it. Okay. Two of Wands. Nearness. Magic of the sliced bread. Sharing every bite of food to unite with another person without losing yourself. Without losing yourself. This is something that this person hasn't learned how to do yet. They don't know how to love fully, openly, vulnerably, completely, like a Page of Cups. And if it doesn't work out, to be mature enough to move on. But then to be able to open up that wide again. Every time becoming better with your discernment. Every time filling your cup back up to fullness. Every time. But it doesn't mean that you... I hope that makes sense. Without... What did it say? Without... That is magical. Magic of the sliced bread. Sharing every bite of food to unite with another person without losing yourself. So this person's got it down pat. This person's learning how to do that. I'm getting 3 individuals because there's something here with like all 3 of these people. You all be careful because this looks... I think 2 of the people, I think this vivacious, sparkly person and the responsible financial numbers person are great. It's just this very emotional person that is going to be very stimulated by all of this, and they just need to kind of get themselves organized before all of this. So this looks like a week that things move forward, but just keep an eye on that person on your team. They don't have to be the Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising. They can be. It does not have to be, though. The Owl. Your intuition is correct. Follow your inner wisdom without fail. Your intuition is correct. Follow your inner wisdom without fail. Then you will see that you were right, and that makes your intuition signals stronger the next time. We will cover more of that in the body language course available to Emperors and Empresses and above this week. That's going to be on Thursday. All the information's at the very end in the credits. The Wren. Be bold and confident. Use all of your resources to create your dreams. Oh, but he's so little. You be bold, little Wren. You go make your dreams. Okay, anyway. Be bold and confident. Use all of your resources to create your dreams. See, that's what this person's doing. I feel like this person is extremely vivacious, extremely sparkly. They could totally be an air fire sign combination. They don't have to be. This is just someone they're either extremely creative in business, very entrepreneurial, or they're very creative artist, but they have a lot of output. They have a lot of output. They get inspiration and they act like right away. This can also be an athlete. a competitive athlete, or maybe like a bodybuilder. What is it? You know, something like that, something physical. Okay. I love you guys. Take very good care. I will check in on your energies next week. The next time I will see you is Wednesday, when we open up another of your downloads with the tarot. So until then, my loves, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.
Suddenly, the world I used to know, I see it differently. You woke me from a dream, now here's reality.